What up, what up? Alright, let's talk about the WoW token a little bit, because I, as someone who played a lot of Classic WoW, I played all of Classic. I did not play TBC. I played the tail end of TBC, and then the whole start of Wrath up until Ulduar launched, when my guild died. Let's talk about the WoW token a little bit, because there's some takes to be had. There are certainly some takes to be had on the WoW token. I believe the WoW token is, while pretty contentious, in terms of a logical business, in terms of like a business decision, it kind of makes sense. It makes sense in many ways. And let's talk about that. And while I know saying the WoW token equal good is a hot take, and also for a lot of people, a take they think is wrong and shitty, at least hear what I have to say about it, and then you can call me shit. Hear what I say, then talk shit about me. I'm cool with that. If we disagree, all fine. That's just a difference of opinion. But you gotta hear me out first. Because the WoW token, realistically, is what was gonna happen anyway. It was gonna happen. And why is that? Why is that gonna happen? Because what is Classic WoW made for? Why did they make Classic servers? Why did they do that? Well, it did it for money. Obviously. Money good for them. So, now that the Classic nostalgia cycle is nearing its end, now that they're getting to the big bad, they're getting to ICC. Once ICC hits and people get whatever they want from it out, I can see half of that community disappearing overnight. Because Kata is what is, at least publicly seen for many of them, is the death of the game, the entrance of a lot of different things that are... Dude, why'd you spawn on the other side of the goddamn wall? As, essentially, when WoW started getting worse, was Kata, for a lot of people. So because of that public perception that's pervased itself into what people think about the game, how they act about the game, how they talk about the game, they're expecting a massive drop-off, which will probably happen for Kata. So before that happens, they're going to try and make their money while they can. Now, this is very anti-classic for how they've described and brought the game up. So, should they do something like... So realistically, what should they do? Well, if they're going to do this, bring back Dungeon Finder. Listen, if they want to retail it up, bro. Nobody wants to sit in fucking town and fucking spam for 10 to 15 minutes to try and find a group for a dungeon people don't do anymore, right? Nobody wants to do that shit. Spamming for heroics. Looking for more. Black Knight. Don't steal my trinket, please. So... this was and would have been the end game always with Classic, because of how the game was just, how the life cycle of the game was going to be, right? It just makes sense. Do I think that it is a bad decision player-wise? That's a different question. Because there's a couple ways you can look at the player base, and to really look at it, you have to think about what would have caused this. You say, oh, it's RMT, they won't put resources into control armed. Bro, they're not going to defeat the robots. They're not going to defeat the robots. This isn't the Matrix. The robots always win. Tirelessly working while everybody else tries to do something the fuck else. They're always going to win. So, how do you don't defeat the robots, you take away their purpose. With, i.e., WoW token. But even before then, most of this is spawned off of people's what's the right word? People don't like GDKPs. They see GDKPs as a destroyer of the game because it's a facilitator of RMT, which they are right. However, look at it in a different light as well. You need to look at it differently. Let's say somebody spends all of their time playing WoW. That's all they want to do. That's all they do. They have 10 characters. They have 10 scheduled GDKPs every week, right? One of the most sought after items is like called Flare of the Stars or something like that. I don't remember. It's a crit trinket off of Algalon 25. So a lot of people really want that item because it might be best in slot for the rest of the game, depending on ICC loot and it's TOGC and ICC whatever. But it could be essentially Biz forever for the rest of the life cycle. So people want it. I have heard people spending upwards of 1,000 gold or 100,000 gold, excuse me, to buy this item. 100K. That's crazy. That's insane to think about, right? You could farm all day, every day on a single character, farming herbs. You're not getting 100K. Obviously, it's RMT. Well, to some degree, yes. But think about the guy that only wants to play it. Only wants to play WoW. He has 10 characters. You can go do a GDKP and walk out of a GDKP with 12,000 gold. So let's say that guy's making 120K a week just from GDKPs. Dropping a week's worth of gold on a essential permabyss item? Easy. He's got 20K left over plus whatever he's had saved up from the other characters. And then he can do that on every character for any item that he wants. So the guy putting a ton of effort in, a ton of effort in with all of these characters, no lifing it. Essentially, using the GDKP system is now allowed to pick and choose where his effort goes and what items he obtains with the time he spent. That is a side and an argument I've heard of GDKP people, which I somewhat agree with. Because if you spend all day, every day playing this game, or not this game, but playing WoW, and you don't get what you want, well, using this system, now you can. So it's a very weird situation. In terms of where I personally sit on it, because I want to talk I like to talk outside of it a little bit, because I think looking down on it is kind of fun. You can get a better perspective of it. Personally, reading threads about the WoW token has been hilarious. And understandably, people are upset. But the reality is, those people that are upset are going to spend their gold and spend their time, or at least a lot of them, the majority of them, still playing the game. And for some of them that play the GDKP, you know what? They're saving 15 bucks a week. Or they're saving 15 bucks a month with the WoW token. I have like 80K on Classic WoW right now that I'm doing nothing with. And I don't think I'm going to play it again. I might go on to Classic WoW, spend all of my gold on WoW tokens, and then have like 6 months, 7 months maybe? You know? Like, I'm definitely conflicted about it though. Definitely conflicted about how the game really is. Because it's anti what Classic was supposed to be. It's anti what Classic is supposed to be. But if they're going to start retailing it up, they better add Q Dungeon Finder real fucking fast. If they want people to be like, hey, what the fuck? Because you know what? If they're going to get people to pay, if they're going to get motherfuckers to drop dollar bills on WoW tokens, they better at least put a little more dev time in and get the fucking RDF rolling. Right? Get the Dungeon Finder rolling. Because nobody wants to stand around town spamming for that shit. So, realistically, what's going to happen with this is some people are going to quit. Some people are going to like it, some people are going to hate it, and the majority are going to keep playing the game because that's what they do every day anyway. The game's going to have a drop-off. A lot of people will quit before Kata comes out because that's the public perception of it. Of WoW, generally, that Kata was a bad time for WoW. And after Kata, I don't see the project continuing. Maybe they try and do another Classic era server. Maybe they start leaning into the hardcore stuff to try and make money and do stuff that way. I don't know. People seem to be enjoying it. So maybe they could officially sanction it a little bit. Make some money that way. I'm not sure. But my mildly spicy take is essentially the WoW token is the end game of an MMO, essentially, anyway. Almost every single MMO system outside of Final Fantasy XIV, which has really made a case for how they spend their money. Honestly, I think Final Fantasy XIV has definitely been, in terms of paying for a sub every fucking week or every month, you get your money's worth in 14, 100%, compared to other MMOs. But the WoW token was going to happen, whether people liked it or not. And it's just, I honestly think, really, really funny that they released it nonchalantly without saying a fucking thing. They just actually dropped it on like a Tuesday patch. Because they saw the writing on the wall, they saw the numbers dwindling, and they went, well, might as well make our money while it's there to make. Which, for business decision, I understand. And it's a decision that they're going to make more money off of rather than less. It's just the reality of it. So hate it as much as you want. The WoW token is going to be a mainstay for that kind of thing. Now, if they release a classic variant of the game again, where it's literally classic WoW again, and they have a WoW token for classic WoW, I don't know about that. But at this point, with what they've done, with where they're at, it makes sense. Anyway, that's my ketchup and mustard, my mildly spicy take on the WoW token. All right, bye-bye.